Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 9 of season 2 of the F124 My Team career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here at the Canadian Grand Prix at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live last week from Monaco, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. It was quite an interesting one from the Jewel in the Crown. Quite an interesting one for everybody else. Our car failed on just lap 13, making it our third mechanical failure so far of the year. We've had a lot of ups, we've had a lot of downs so far in this campaign, but we're still currently sat in P10 overall in the Drivers' Championship as well. They're 6th in the Constructors as well, courtesy of only points that I've scored so far this season. Ayumu Owasa has been as good as useless so far in the season as well there. But in terms of the championship though, Charles Leclerc and Ferrari lead both standings now after a win for the Monegasque driver at home last weekend. Red Bull now ahead of Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship as well, with Hamilton still ahead of Verstappen in the drivers' table. So 3 drivers from 3 different teams inside your top 3 so far. It has been a wildly unpredictable campaign up to this point, and long may it continue, because this has certainly been an entertaining series so far. Make sure you get yourself subscribed if you're new. We're trying to hit 5,000 subscribers here on the channel at the moment. And yeah, let's head out then onto the track.
It is time to go qualifying in Canada. A historic track. Looks simple, it's anything but. Welcome to Montreal.
Well, as we head out into qualifying then, all weekend, it looks like we're going to have to keep one eye on the skies above us. There isn't meant to be any rain, but there is a very increased chance of rain occurring as well. It's one of those weird things inside the F1 games. It's been around for a few years now, where if it's anything less than like an 80% chance, then it normally won't. But it'd be nice kind of if it was a bit more unpredictable. You know, you did occasionally, you know, a 5% chance of rain should actually mean a 5% chance of rain, rather than it. I've never once seen it actually happen as well, which is a little bit of a shame. But as we move into qualifying though, this has been a pretty good circuit for us so far inside F124. Of course, happy memories in the driver career mode here. We've taken a couple of wins around this Montreal circuit. No, it's not quite as much luck inside this series though, it must be said. But maybe this weekend we could try and get back to winning ways. And when I say get back to winning ways, of course I mean the one win we've claimed so far in this series. I think, though, as long as we can keep trying to score some decent points on the board, I don't think we can really complain, especially when we've got a huge wave of upgrades that are hopefully going to be showing up pretty soon. Navigating our way through the final couple of corners, though, towards the line. First lap only good enough for P8. We do go quicker than both Haas cars, though. And by the time everybody else has done their last run, or is starting their last run, we're all the way down to P20 here. So it wasn't anywhere near as good a representative as I hoped it would be. Admittedly, we were still only about a second off the pole time, so any improvement here could prove really, really useful as we go back out for our last-ditch effort. I mean, we've just got to put it all on the line, haven't we, around a track like this? Theoretically, it might not suit the car as well, as we've seen at a couple of other venues this season. Montreal as well is often one of those tracks where qualifying's not perfect, but the race can run a little bit smoother for us. There as we just nudge the wall, making our way through the chicane. Just keep it really nice and steady there. The grip is definitely rising towards the end of the session as well. We're now a quarter of a second up. So we make our way down the back straight there as well, trying to chuck the car between the curbs. Just compromised myself a little bit of time there on the exits. Hamilton, World Championship. He's no longer the leader, but he is still in that fight. He loves Montreal, and it looks like he could be on for another pole here, right in the dying seconds of qualifying. It's down to 2-2 Motorsport, though. Both cars at the rear of the field right now. No real surprise from Ayumu, but hopefully we're going to be able to lift ourselves off the back row of the grid there as chucking the car through the wall of champion chicane. Could have had a little bit more out of it, to be honest. We're going to improve by another 3/10, though, but it is only good enough for P16, just lacking the out-and-out pace, at least in qualifying. Well, I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting to see Lance Stroll on the front row of the grid there in the end, so had Hamilton not improved, we could have seen a Canadian pole position at home. For the first time, I believe Gilles Villeneuve achieved it, but I don't think Jacques ever did. Don't think Nicholas Latifi did either. But yeah, Hamilton takes pole though. Lance Stroll joins him on the front row ahead of Norris and Carlos Sainz there. Red Bull only good enough for 10th and 11th. So they're clearly struggling as well. And World Championship leader Charles Leclerc only in P8. This season just continues to be absolutely wild all over the show. P16 for us. Had we found another 10th of a second, we could have been ahead of Hülkenberg and Ricciardo. But anything can happen as we head into the Grand Prix.
It is the second largest French-speaking city in the world and home since 1978 to the Canadian Grand Prix. Welcome to Montreal. .7-mile circuit peaking at around 190 miles per hour. 2 DRS zones, 14 turns, tight corners, a narrow track, and the famous Wall of Champions. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, with Lance Stroll alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Fernando Alonso, Russell, Leclerc, Albon, Verstappen, Perez, Gasly, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Sainz, Hülkenberg, Mr. Monaco, Oscar Piastri, Ocon, Teo Porcher, Joe, Bottas, Sargent, and Ayumu Iwasa. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway.
Well, here we are then, down trackside, ready for the Canadian Grand Prix. We line up P15 by virtue of grid penalties for others, so a nice little boost towards the points there. But yeah, it's going to be a long afternoon for us. If we can get back inside that top 10, I would be very happy. A threat of rain is looming. If we've got a red flag or something like that, conditions could change before the race is done and dusted here. But yeah, you can see a Ferrari as well just in front of me with grid penalties as well. So a little bit of drama and intrigue for others around us. It is going to be 5 red lights though on the grid. And it's going to be lights out, and away we go here. We'll try and cover off Oscar Piastri on the run down towards someone, and we'll try and see. We can have a look down the inside of Hülkenberg as well there as well. The Haasman want to try and give us a little bit of a squeeze there, but we'll find an avenue around the outside of Sainz and Ricciardo off of turn 2. And we're actually going to find the traction there around the outside. Oh, a lot of Constantina and up though in towards turn 3 and 4 there as we just run into the back of Tsunoda. Luckily, no harm, no foul. And yeah, the AI really do like to take it easy on lap 1 around this Montreal circuit there. Verstappen as well. He obviously was given a bit of a lifeline starting all the way up in P8. But surely you wouldn't expect Lance Stroll to be able to fight for the win here today against Lewis Hamilton. Surely the Canadian in that Aston Martin can't spring the ultimate surprise. We've already had many different winners this year. Surely he can't be another one there as well. Ricciardo wanted to have a look down the inside of me. I will return the favour by completing a dive bomb on his teammate Yuki Tsunoda. I mean, that was, well, hopefully Ricciardo certified there. As we'll try and get the power down this back straight. We've gained 4 spots, though, on lap 1. So this has actually gone really nicely for us at the start of the GP. So we'll try and navigate our way through the Wall of Champions chicane. Hamilton will still lead at the end of lap 1. But we've made good ground.
This lap, we can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
We know we've got some quick cars behind us, though, including, yeah, Sainz and Oscar Piastri. But yeah, Gasly, Perez, I mean, there's so many Red Bull / ex-Red Bull drivers in front and behind. I think we're in a sandwich, legitimately, of 6 drivers that have either currently or previously been with Red Bull. I think, no, it's 7. Sainz is still in P14.
Wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as quickly as you can. Push.
Almost half the grid has either driven for Red Bull or Toro Rosso V-Car, whatever we're calling it. I'm not one of them, though. We're already starting to get a little bit of deja vu here.
Use overtake.
Yeah, Mark wants me to get on with it, but Alex Albon is currently trying to hang on to P7 in that Williams, just like we saw him achieve last year. In 2023 at this circuit. Admittedly, that weekend he wasn't defending from Max Verstappen, but yeah, still another brilliant drive by the Williams man. Are we going to see Verstappen try to get a run down in towards that final chicane? Because we're going to try and go on the offensive on Sergio Perez. Oh, hello! What is that by Perez? Just trying to put me in a wall. As Albon looks like he's got the pace to hang on in front. We'll nudge the wall on the exit of the final corner as well.
With the front wing, you've taken some minor damage.
Hopefully that's not going to cost us too much. But what on earth was that from Perez? Just trying to put me in the wall at over 200 miles an hour. Verstappen does make the move. But early on, this race is chaos. And I think the floodgates might have just started to open for Alex Albon here. He's lost the one place to Verstappen. Now Gasly's trying to look for it as well. Down in towards the final chicane there, actually. Albon, he's going to try and defend that time round. It's going to leave both him and Pierre struggling out of that final corner as here comes Perez. So, I mean, look at this. This is basically the battle of who's been Max Verstappen's teammate at Red Bull at some point in the past. We've even got, yeah, Ricciardo not too far behind as well, but Albon desperately trying to hang on. That Williams does not have the race pace, though, right now. A really good car over one lap inside this game. Not quite the same in race trim in this series. Well, Sergio Perez's day is just going from bad to worse at the moment. He cannot find a way through. Gasly doesn't quite have enough straight line speed to get past Albon, and Perez doesn't quite have enough straight line speed to get past Pierre Gasly here. And it might be about to get even worse for him because we've got the straight line speed to try and challenge the Red Bull again. How on earth do we hold on to that? As we'll have to do a hop, skip and a jump through the final chicane there. Tsunoda and Ricciardo will say thank you very much. But Perez again, just squeezing me out into a braking zone there. We'll try and regain the place from the Australian. But Perez deserves at least a penalty. It's got to be a warning at the very minimum so far in this Grand Prix. That's the second time he's almost taken us out. Luckily, Yuki Tsunoda hopefully isn't going to be much of a match for us down the straights then. If we can get the run on the Red Bull, surely we can try and get the run on the V-Carb car as around the outside we'll go. Oh, we had to really aggressively commit to that one, but we'll go straight back to where we were then. As we're almost, well, we are, yeah, 1/4 distance of this race.
We're leading our teammate by 6.6 seconds.
I think we've got to try and recharge the battery pack slightly, but there's no more patience with Sergio Perez in this race right now. Oh, here we go. Gasly this time round. Finally trying to have a look to the inside of Alex Albon down at turn 1. He'll have the long way around through turn 2. The thing I'm worried about now is if Pierre can complete this move, which he will, we know how fast that Williams is. He might just go straight back past him again when we get back round to the back straight. But yeah, it just feels like there's a cork in the bottle. And it feels like at some point something will happen to someone. Guessing who, when, where, and how? That's another question. So here we go. Almost immediately though, Perez will try and look down the inside of Albon. You can see there, that's just slowing everybody up though.
Okay to use your overtake button.
We're going to try and capitalise then down the inside of Sergio Perez into the hairpin. Oh, we locked at the rears again there. There was a tiny bit of wheel-to-wheel contact between myself and the Mexican. But surely now we can try and get the run on him out onto the back straight there as we have much better power. I mean, look at that again. Sergio trying to put me in the wall. Luckily, we'll storm round him. And up then finally into the points of this Grand Prix. Albon and Gasly still in the DRS of each other, though. So hopefully these two will bunch up and we can pick them both off. We're not that far away from the pit window either. Haven't really had a chance to think. Oh, Albon is really struggling for grip.
About the tyre condition for now, everything's looking good.
He is wheel spinning that car absolutely everywhere right now as Perez just tried to have a look around the outside. We had to throw our car offline because we know the AI can basically try and wedge themselves into a situation. But yeah, myself and the Mexican, we are not friends right now inside this series. As Alex Albon, he's definitely lost the DRS though to Pierre Gasly, so we need to try and get around him and then immediately build up a little bit of a gap. And just how strong is that Williams in a straight line then against ourselves? The answer is quite. We will get to him by the time we get down in towards that final corner. And hopefully we can try and get the run on the exit as well there, as this time round try and use even more DRS to the outside of Albon back down towards turn 1. Oh, just about made it work there. Dip a wheel on the grass though on the exit. We'll get it stopped. And we're up to P9.
Nice move. Keep going.
That was quite a send-it move, but we kept it clean and tidy. Well, I tell you what, Max Verstappen, having a look on the mini-map, he's had a pretty lonely time of things since he got past Alex Albon here. We've now broken the Williams out of our DRS as well, so I think it's a matter of time before he drops out of the points. Yeah, if he's not been able to close it to that front group, certainly don't think we're going to be able to. Neither is Pierre Gasly. We are a tiny bit faster than the Frenchman each and every lap. But I think we're going to have to wait until after the pit window to really do anything. Maybe we could undercut him through the pit window. As Hamilton at the front of the field, he's used Lance Stroll to his advantage. He has got a nice big lead there as Perez has made the move work on the Williams. Oh, we got yellows. We got yellows. Gasly. Gasly breaking down then as we get towards half distance here. And poor Pierre actually having a really good race so far in his Alpine. But it is going to amount to nothing then. Annoyingly for us, no safety car or anything like that. He does a pretty good job of getting out of the way. And we are back to being in a Red Bull sandwich. But it might be a while before we see another car. And I think it's probably going to be Sergio behind. Well, with Gasly gone then, there's no real need to do anything fancy in terms of undercuts or overcuts here. May as well just dive into the pit lane as and when it suits there. And that's going to be the end of this lap as Leclerc and Verstappen, two of the championship rivals, into the pits in front. We've got to try and get our car stopped, which we will pretty tidy. So Perez is going to have to go for an overcut on me then. Don't know whether anybody in the pit lane has been held up. I think that Fernando Alonso might have been slightly. Because, yeah, plenty of teams rushing out into the lane there, ready to equip hard tyres to the end of the afternoon.
Let's go, come on! That was a fantastic stop, faster than we were expecting.
We're going to be out there right near our teammate Ayumu Iwasa here.
We want to finish the race on this compound.
I guess we don't get to see him often in this series, and maybe he can provide me with a little bit of DRS before he pits. I mean, what do we do with Ayumu now? He is just not delivering in that second car anymore. He showed good promise last season, but when you think how much money we've spent in this team, trying to make sure that our second driver has got facilities that he's able to operate in, he's just been able to deliver absolutely nothing still inside this series there. So I think it's probably going to be better for us just to sit in behind him. So he'll obviously peel into the pit lane at the end of that lap. A little bit of choreography there going on in the team. So I nudge the wall again. So we're going to be back up to where we were.
8.3 seconds.
Don't think Perez has got the overcut on me, which I guess is good. But yeah, you can see there he's actually going to be close with Yuki Tsunoda on pit exit again. So yeah, Perez is just not having a day of it. Well, Perez and Tsunoda are closing back in on me, so I don't think we're going to be lonely to the end of the afternoon.
Now, keep taking care of them.
Just trying to keep that gap over a second for as long as I can. But yeah, Perez has really dragged Tsunoda back nicely. Albon, it's a shame because obviously I do always try and back Williams and, you know, support them in these series. That car, brilliant in qualifying today. Terrible in race trim. Is we going to set a new personal best? No, we don't. Sorry, we were 6 thousandths away. Oh, I thought that was an engine failure. Annoyingly, DRS is very useful.
With the DRS, you will not be able to open the rear wing. We're working on a fix. Stay out for now.
But it won't make much difference to us at the moment unless Perez can get by. He and Tsunoda now definitely are duking it out with each other again, which is not helping the Mexicans' pace. But yeah, DRS is gone. This time round then, will we be able to set a new fastest lap? I think the last 3 I've done have all been within like 100th of a second of it, up towards the line. There we go, a 111.4. Oh, what is that? Perez, new fastest lap of the day. A 110.2 there. He's only gone 8/10ths of a second quicker than me. And I think, yeah, Checo's probably going to fly past me pretty soon. I don't know whether it will be in our best interest to let him and Yuki by and just sit in behind and save some battery. Because, of course, we're not really going to be able to fight them without working DRS. But I don't think we're going to get much say against Sergio Perez. Here around the outside will go the Mexican. And our battle today will rage on once again then. Because, of course, yeah, no, I can't do anything, can I, right now? He's got so much straight line speed, especially when he's got that DRS, so may as well eliminate him having that option for too long. But now we just got to try and hang with him here, but that Mexican is looking racy. But effectively now, apart from a little bit of slipstream, this is now just a pace battle between myself and Perez here, because of course neither of us have got the DRS, so I can't even try and use it to cling on to him at the moment. Tsunoda's still waiting in the wings behind. Definitely don't want to let him by. But yeah, Perez, though, might break free pretty soon. As we get to 2/3 distance, I mean, this might be a new personal best again. Yes, it is, an 11.00. But yeah, Sergio, either slow down or team, fix our DRS. Oh, yes. Yes, that was at the perfect time. We were just about to lose the range to Sergio there, and I think we've just about got the DRS. So fantastic news then. With just 10 laps to go. We were literally, I mean, that gap was over a second. We just kept it inside at the DRS detection point. But I was just about to say how we were going to drop away from Sergio. But now the fight is back on. But just because we've got the DRS doesn't mean there's any guarantee that we're actually going to be able to fight Sergio here. Just might make it a little bit easier for us to keep up with him. We're going to try and see if we can claim new fast lap of the day. We only need to find about another 4/10 of what I've previously done. And say that DRS will give us a big helping hand. So we navigate our way through the final chicane. Would love to try and just pick up the bonus point if possible here, as there we go. A 10.24.
By 26.5 seconds.
We'll try and have a look around the outside of the Mexican as well there. So as we try and pull it off through turn 1 and turn 2. Sergio there just about able to get the power down. But maybe now a bonus point could be useful. Well, as he's about to start lap 30 then, Lewis Hamilton really hasn't been under much pressure throughout this Grand Prix, but it might not be all over just yet. Lando Norris in the McLaren is starting to take time out of him here. He's been able to move away from the rest of that kind of leading group, if you will, which Verstappen now has latched onto the back of as well. So Hamilton, we've seen him win here time and time again. I mean, it would be pretty magical to watch him win another one here on what seems to be a comeback tour for Lewis Hamilton so far this season. But, yeah, Lando Norris wants to do everything within his power to get a win on the board himself here. Well, into the final 5 laps then of this Grand Prix. I think Tsunoda's just about given up in terms of the pace here. He can't quite hang on to Checo and now he's lost that DRS range unless we really squabble. It's going to be difficult for him to get it back again. Sainz as well. I kind of forgot about him and Piastri here, how much they both struggled this afternoon after their grid penalties. I mean, Oscar's basically hasn't moved forward at all in this Grand Prix, but 4 laps to go.
32.6 seconds.
Yeah, that seems about right. Ayumu, on average, a second a lap slower throughout the entirety of this race. I don't want to speak too soon yet. Hamilton, though, might have this in the bag. Come on, just 2 laps left to go with this Grand Prix, and we are still hounding Perez here. We've basically raced each other all afternoon. It's not the likely battle you would expect to coming into this one, but it's happened time and time again now in this series. And Red Bull this season, they have really not delivered a car that has been able to fight at the top there. Verstappen still only in P7. He caught back up to that train, but hasn't really been able to do anything since there. It's a little bit of a lock-up through turn 3 and turn 4. Hamilton, though, at the front of the field. He's got barely a lap to go here in Montreal, a circuit that we've seen him have so much success at in years gone by. Lewis Hamilton loves this place, and I tell you what, after, those opening few races, I did wonder, obviously, whether this was going to be his chance to come back and fight for another world title. Then he was a little bit shaky throughout the next few. Charles Leclerc and a few others closed in that gap, but this weekend he has returned to a track he loves, and with just 1 more lap to go, the Hamilton comeback tour, that hunt for an 8th world title, seems to be well and truly on. Lewis Hamilton, he might be almost 40, but he means business here as we are still trying to keep up with Sergio Perez there. A little bit of a mistake through the final couple of corners, but we were able to gather it up nicely there. 1 more lap to go of the Canadian Grand Prix, and I mean, it'll only be for a couple of extra points, but they would be nice as a bit of a consolation.
0.5 a lap.
I mean, Perez, has dragged me along in these last few laps, but I am not going to repay the favour there. He tried to put me in the wall early on in this race. He then tried to squeeze me off the road again not long after. So Sergio Perez, this is personal here as Hamilton down in towards the hairpin for the final time in this Grand Prix. It looks like, Mercedes are going to be celebrating another win there as well. My force feedback just went a little bit light momentarily. We need to focus on trying to get a good run out of the hairpin so we can try and attack Sergio Perez there. And nicking a wheel on the grass on the way in is not going to do us any favours. Let's drain that battery, though, out of the final couple of corners. Lewis Hamilton is going to win the Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal once again. But for us, though, there is bigger things at stake. Checo's used all his battery. We're going to have to look to the outside, in towards the final chicane of the Grand Prix. Thread it through. Don't hit the wall on the exit. It is going to be P8. A last lap move.
The all-time win record is getting extended. Lewis Hamilton takes the win.
incredible victory today, and this really keeps their hopes in the driver's title away, and you can just see how much of a celebration is going on down there. It proves what it means to them.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
Well, there we go. Lewis Hamilton takes the win ahead of Lando Norris there, with Charles Leclerc, championship leader. Well, he was the championship leader, finishing in P3. Russell almost made it a British 1-2-3 this weekend, with Stroll a really good qualifying. Admittedly, his race pace was actually very good as well there. Still ahead of his teammate Alonso come the checkered flag. Verstappen in 7th, a good recovery drive, but from 15th on the grid, we come through for P8 in the end there. We snookered away that final place from Perez and the fastest lap as well there, so rather happy with how things went this weekend, with Tsunoda as well getting a point on the board for VCarb as well. What does that do to our Drivers' Championship, though? I believe, yeah, Hamilton back at the top then, 5 points clear of Charles. Norris takes a huge chunk out of Verstappen as well in the championship hunt there. So 4 drivers now from 4 teams inside your top 4 as well. Constructors-wise, Mercedes close back in the gap. 10 points between them and Ferrari now at the top of the table. And Red Bull, they are consistent, which is really, really keeping them in the hunt for both titles early on in the campaign there. Gutted for Albon. That could have been his and Williams' first points of the year as well. But ultimately, yeah, just lacked the out-and-out pace to make the difference there. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when Formula 1 returns ready in Barcelona.